Well, World War III collapsed the stock market over the weekend as we had multiple headlines coming out this morning of the United States and China telling their citizens to evacuate Israel and Iran here, markets selling off on that news, as well as producer price index. But that was kind of an afterthought here as markets really ending down about 0.5%, Q's down 30 basis points, Dow down 1.7, and then we had the Russell here down 1.72, still inside of that triangular range here. If you caught the video yesterday afternoon, I told you to expect a headline in the morning and to fade the direction of that, and that really worked out pretty well. Granted, we didn't close green, but we opened down here, we tested, and then we went up, and that worked out pretty well for us in the trading room, catching another gain on NQ as well as ES today. And again, really quickly, last day to get in on the sale, so that'll be done at midnight tonight. Again, 60% off. First month active trader, 30% off of swing trades. So again, I don't really make predictions very often, but when I do, I'd make them for a reason, and we got that. And by the way, I'll take to the grave how I knew that was going to happen, but just FYI, so don't bother asking. But yeah, pretty good move day trading wise. Does this follow through off the lows or not? I don't care. Honestly, we're just here to trade the market and just do what the charts tell us to do here. But I am noticing here right now, ES. I've been following this very closely, and I mentioned it in the live stream this morning on the main channel, but I talked about this kind of like pattern here. I was like, it's funny. I doodled a little bit in the Discord. I was like, we could see something similar to that, and kind of funny on the 4 hour. It is kind of it's pretty close. I mean, we went right there, hit that, and then rebounded. So up to the top, through that right there. Does it follow through and break out? I don't know. Again, I don't care. We're just going to react to what we can here. But I'll say these few things right now. From what I hear, and just make my word for whatever it is, I'm just some guy on the internet. I don't think that the U.S. would do anything before Ramadan. You did see some like the VIX was bid into the weekend again, right? So it didn't close above 20 though. It's interesting. It came in at the end of the day. Okay. It still held a bid though. VIX itself came in. Yeah, VIX futures held the bid more so. Yeah, VIXy held the bid, and VVIX back above 110. So you definitely saw a little bit of a hedge appetite into the close. We did a little bit of end of month markup too. You can see Google got a huge moonshot at the end of the day. Apple and Nvidia backing off Tesla got a little bump. So don't make too much out of that noise. But I'll say this right now. We have a tightening range here. And my gosh, like I cannot wait for this to be over with. I don't care. Just gap us 150 points in whatever direction, please, at this point. But yeah, bottom line, we hit the low here and we held that. I will say this as well. Commercials, COTs are out. I don't have the chart in front of me, but you'll just have to take my word for it. But they bought ES again this week, and hedge funds are like essentially close to max short now. So we have that as well. We saw the setup there with the NQ, and that's why we were looking for NASDAQ leadership this week. And, it was, so we were NASDAQ only down 30 basis points with the S&P down 0.5%. We haven't seen that lately. But that is, an important key ingredient if the bulls are going to get anything going. And again, I say that as if like it's like implied that there's bear control, but we realize, what if I told you that for the entire month of February, we've been making higher lows, right? For the last like 3.5, 4 weeks. And we've only had one lower high attempt. So it's like this idea that there's bear control, dude, we're like 1.5% from all-time highs. It's very neutral here, and it's very lucrative to day trade. That's why we're absolutely killing it right now. So we're getting 100-point moves every day. We're getting spoiled here. But I am getting sick of it, to be completely honest with you. I shouldn't be complaining, but I am, and I can do that. Anyway, that's my right, because I don't live in China yet, and we're not speaking Chinese. But anyway, speaking of moves today, Netflix had a big move. I just did a video on the main channel, if you guys want to check that out, kind of covering short squeezing and what really how to identify that. We did have an NFXL, which is like the long version of this, since we need an ETF for it apparently. But hey, if it's there, I'm going to use it. And you'll recall I talked about this, a few times over the last couple of weeks with Netflix, and hinted that was long, but very nice move there. But essentially kind of break down how I can tell this is short selling and not organic, like just sellers. This might have been organic sellers, but after like here, this is all just shorts. And they got blown up. Like there was hedges at like 85 yesterday. That's it. They got like reamed today. So this was a gamma squeeze in addition to a short squeeze, but nice move there on Netflix. Nice gain on that. I did take a hit on CoreWeave today. I had like a lotto position in this. It did hold that inside. Normally I don't play earnings, but I had a good setup here, and it did hold the inside bar low. I mean, the stock absolutely crapped the bed, but it held the inside bar low on the weekly. So it hung on by the skin of its teeth, but obviously got whacked there. So that was a little paper cut for the week. But anyway, yeah, check that video out if you get a chance. Yeah, ES here, again, down 0.5%. I mean, like, okay, oh, wow, we closed it. Oh my God, we closed at 685 SPY again. So, nothing really out of the ordinary. The 100 MA held again. I mean, like what else do I say here? We got to reclaim 68.95 and then 6,900 on ES to squeeze up. Bears, your work is cut out for you. Just break this trend line down, and you can get down to 6,800 pretty quick. Like, I don't know what else to say here. I think that's where it's at. Also, there's a couple other things. There are a couple other things. Chips here, SMH down 1.7. At the end of the day, though, it's at the 20 moving average, man. Like, IGV, I figured the 20 MA would back price off here, but look at the price action, right? There's buyers all day long. So dip was bought there. I think IGV is fine. I don't think the software bounce is done. Transport's coiled here, right? Heck, I mean, maybe that's a little too, it's probably too steep. So we got to go like here. But yeah, coiled up, right? You didn't make a case that it's an ascending triangle. Transport's strong here. We talked about the Russell a minute ago. That's flagged up and pennant, coiled up. Dow itself was weak on the day against the Dow. So there was strength there. TLT was interesting. That was up 51 cents. And again, everybody keeps talking about, TLT's rallying on bad news. And it's like, yeah, remember like 4 weeks ago when I said that and nobody cared? And now it's up here and people are starting to notice. I think 91 is going to be resistance for TLT next week. I'll have to see what it looks like when the open interest converts, but I think that's going to be resistance. So I think people are finally catching on to this. And that probably means it's going to pull back. So we'll see. But yeah, nice rally for bonds. ZT was up too. With the PPI the way it was. So XHB red to green, IYR up 23 cents, new 52-week highs. This one is the important one here, and it's XLF. Forgive me, earlier I don't know, I was enough my coffee yet or something because I didn't get the levels right. But if you are remembering, I said 52. I don't know what I'm talking about. 51.05 is the monthly inside bar. They saved it today. So they saved that. It lives to fight another day. Right? So you can see it clearly there. That's important. that's really important, right? Because if it didn't do that, that would change a lot. KRE did lose the 50 MA though. So KRE came back in and it lost that weekly. So now you have a flip here. So regionals have been leading and now they aren't. And that dragged the Russell today. Broker dealers were down. HYG was down, but it stayed within the weekly range. So continue to monitor that. Other sectors, XLP still strong, XLV still strong, and they continue to do well. And XLP still running off that. This is a January effect play. It's all the way. It's about to be March here. Oil, yeah. I mean, right. We said expect a headline. And as soon as I woke up today and I saw where this was trading, I was like, yeah, we're getting it. We're getting a headline. Yeah. And we did. And, it went up after that and then it petered out. Notice at 9 a.m., oil tops, ES, effectively bottomed around that time. We had that one little sweep at the low there. NQ bottomed right around that time. So a little inverse trade there. That is often the case in geopolitical situations like this. XLE was strong though, up 1.58, new all-time weekly closing high and monthly closing high. Exxon Mobil didn't quite do that, but short term you had kind of a little like pennant sort of break there. Doesn't matter. It was a strong move off that 20-day. It's doing what it's supposed to. XOP can give me a proper dip. I don't know if it's going to give it to us here. And OIH just will not give you a dip. Ever since that monthly breakout, I told you, beautiful move. Dollar index did nothing. It was holding up this morning. It had a decent little look to it. Remember when I did the pre-market video? Didn't really finish though. But you do have. We'll just say we got a bull flag here, a potential. But the trend is down, so it has a lower percentage odds of playing out, right? You're below the 50 MA. Never, ever trust a bull flag below the 50 MA and, in between the 20 and the 50 with the 100 and the 200 above. Doesn't mean it can't play out, but you don't bank on that. Gold with a nice move there, up 1.64. Oh, and I forgot, that was the other winner today. Silver. Yeah, finally got up to my target. So 94.76, close enough. 85 SLV was my target. So look where it closed. Oh, but Aaron, gamma exposure doesn't mean anything. The options market has zero bearing over the equity. Yeah, shut up. Platinum up 6%. Palladium up 2%. So no changes there. Nothing too spectacular. And then copper, up 1%. So nothing spectacular there either. Bitcoin was a little soft today as well. This needs to do something here. It is coiled though. I mean, if we put on the bands here, it's ready to move. So I think bulls, you need to clear that. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's clear this 69 area and get going. You got the chance to do it. It's kind of like the inverse of what I was saying with bears, earlier this week. Dude, like you can't tell me that you didn't have it on a silver platter on Tuesday. You bear flagged off this move, right? So same thing with Bitcoin here. Like it's right there. Just clear that and you squeeze. But that's the market. So anyways, guys, we'll wrap up here again. You guys take care. Have a great weekend. Take advantage of the deal here. Just a few hours left. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. We'll see you guys all on Monday.